Yo, what's good, my nephews and nieces? This is your favorite uncle, Uncle Demi, and today I have another special banger for you, right? Today we're going to talk about some devs communicating on Twitter, but before we get into the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, as like of the video, push the video to the recommended, and of course subscribe and put your note again for my daily uploads. But without further ado, let's hop straight into the video, all right? So, as we all know, there has definitely been a push for this new feature, which is called signature go-to shots, okay? And to be honest with you, it's definitely going to be one of the most user-friendly things in the game. It's going to be like the LeBron James step back for a lot of casuals, but a lot of really comp players are going to be able to utilize it too. I think everybody's going to utilize it. The question will be, which animation, which NBA player is, people are going to overuse and abuse, right? We all know there's going to be a meta, and then once that meta happens, then everything else kind of just goes to the wayside. No one else cares about the other ones other than probably like the Sim Nation people and that type of deal, okay? But without further ado, let's just go ahead and talk what Baluba did. He dropped he's dropping these bombs, man. The question was, what is the difference between the new shot canceling feature and the canceling step back shots in previous games, okay? That's a good question, right? He said the main difference between this year's shot canceling and past versions is that you can break out at any point during the jump shot as long as it's before the player gathers with two hands. That's important. I'm gonna come back to that. In the past, you were locked into the shot until a specific point. Also, the new dribble engine handles the transitions dynamically, which looks and feels smoother than the pre-scripted bridge animations we use in previous 2Ks. And I want to talk about that last statement first. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the new dribble engine. And again, that's something I will talk about in another video coming up. But the dribble engine basically just completely reinvents, completely revamps everything you know about dribbling, okay? You got to take all that stuff from 2K24, throw it out. It's going to be completely different, which is good. It's been 15 years since they did anything to the dribbling engine, and it's dynamic. It's constantly working as you play, which is insane. I don't know if that's like artificial intelligence, but regardless, that's what's going to help with like the transitions and stuff looking more smoother than previous years, okay? Now, the part where he says shot canceling, where you can go right before he gathers with two hands, that is going to be insane, especially depending on what type of hop shot jumper you use. Again, people are going to I think that might have some variety to it, because some of them are going to be a lot slower, some are going to be a lot faster, so you can visualize being able to do a hot. Somebody might be able to go right, like hold it maybe like 2 seconds longer than somebody else, and then finally break out of it when someone's jumping thinking they're going to shoot, and they're being able to cancel right out of it. To me, I think that is going to be absolutely insane, okay? So I don't want to sit here and try to overhype anything, because again, that's just not what I want to do. I don't want to overhype stuff, but what I'm just going to call a spade is a spade. To be able to cancel later into a shot cancellation is going to be a plus. There's not a negative to that, right? Other than defenders now have to truly respect the possibility, hey, you better not jump, because now I have even more time to be able to cancel out of that and go into another animation, okay? So that makes sense, right? I think we can all agree to that. I'm not trying to sit here and try to say this is game changing, game breaking, but it is insane to think like, yo, for the first time ever, we can literally be able to wait a lot longer to cancel out, and then we're able to go into some other dynamic dribble sigs that we haven't had to us before. But again, that's something I'll talk about in another video, okay? Now, back to those go-to shots, okay? Because a lot of this shot cancellation will be used with the go-to shot feature. I talked about that in a couple videos ago. The go-to shot is going to be dope because, basically every single player is going to have a go-to shot. I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be gatekeep behind height, right? So if you want to get like, I don't know, Jamal Murray, which I think Jamal Murray is going to be pretty dope, you probably have to be 6'5" and under. If you want to get like a Wemby, you're probably going to have to be 6'10" and higher, that type of deal, unless they completely rechange the animation requirements, which I've been saying for the longest. The animation requirements should be, there is none requirements for it. If I'm a little guard and I want to use Wemby, that's perfectly fine, but there has to be some type of attachment to the jump shot, like your jumper should be the one to dictate that, like meaning, just because you have Wemby's signature go-to shot, okay, fine, What does that hurt? You know what I'm saying? To me, I just don't like how everything's gatekeep. If I want to be Wemby and I want to have, you know, Trae Young's leaner, let me get Trae Young's leaner. I don't like how jump shots are gatekeep, right? In my personal opinion, but that's a whole nother video. But so let's look at my man Sar. So he replied, and he's a dev if you didn't know that. He said, so Kevin Cruz said, these go-to shots should be interesting mechanic to use, especially with the variety in the larger green window. Now, when he's saying larger green window, he's speaking on the fact that if you use the rhythm shooting, which I did a video on that too, if you didn't know, the rhythm shooting of using the right joystick up and down, that is going to give you a larger green window. So just keep that in mind. A lot of this will go back to just literally only having to use the right pro stick to do the dribbling, the shoot out of it. Like, you can literally do everything now with just that right joystick. So again, this is different. It's going to take a learning curve, but some individuals are going to take advantage of that. Like, you know, Kevin Cruz, who's a sim player, he's obviously going to be using a lot of animations and taking advantage of that. So, but then Cyrus replied back. He said, some of these are so cold, man. And the fact that you can branch at different points means the creative folks can build an entire set of offensive moves out of a player's go-to shot. There you go. So you see it. It's just, they're really hyping this up. You see how the devs are really hyping it up. They're really involved in this, obviously because they truly feel that this is going to be something that is game changing, or maybe this might be a marketing tactic. So this is their biggest advancement that they made in the game from year to year, so they're really marketing it and pushing it. But to me, when Sar speaks, you want to listen, because most of the time he ain't really hyping stuff up. The man barely even talks, right? Usually when he says something, you need to take it for gold, because this is what he's literally believing, and he's not really about hyping and over exaggerating things. So to me personally, I think that's going to be pretty dope. But then again, I'll let y'all be the judge to that as far as how do y'all feel about that necessarily. But then let's talk about right under that, LD2K, Chris Manning. Again, you know, from NBA 2K TV, he replied to that same exact one, right, about the signature go-to shots. He replied to it too under Mike Wayne's tweet, and he says, I really like D-Lo's. Okay, so that just lets you know automatically that there's going to be, maybe, I hope that this is going to be acquired taste type for animation. So, you know, I like D-Lo, but this person might like Jamal Murray, this person might like Trae Young, this type of deal, right? And not know universally accepted that LeBron James or the John Wall step back is the best, or, you know, Kobe Bryant or the John Wall push cross is the best, you know, Chris Paul's hesitation is the best, right? Patty Mills' jump shot is the best, right? I hope that there is a variety to this, and it's not just going to be, you know, one person. Is it going to be D-Book? Is it going to be D-Lo, right? Is it going to be Jamal Murray? Is it going to be Steph Curry? I hope that there is a variety to this, and individuals are able to do their own thing, which again, I understand if you're paying money, you're going to want to have the best animation, which is true. I just hope that if there's a way, if it's being overused, is nerfed, right? And you can nerf it if you don't hide it behind actual animation requirements. So if these go-to shots didn't have an animation requirement to where Lil Timmy had to have a certain ball handle or a certain height, whatever, and then all animations were available, then you can nerf it, right? Just imagine if John Wall step back could have got nerfed this year. Jamal Murray behind the back got nerfed this year. If Patty Mills base got nerfed this year. So y'all let me know in the comment section what y'all think. I know I gave a lot of information. I didn't want this to try to be too long-winded. But other than that, it's your favorite old head, Uncle Dimmy. I'll be back really, really soon with the Banger Man. And you know, when I say back soon with the Banger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.